If you're tuning in right now, you happen to be watching the world's truest source for hip hop news, black culture, sports, and of course the best reaction videos on the net. I'm talking about Kofi's Universe. If you haven't already subscribed, it's your chance to hit that button now before I hit this blunt. Bada.
YouTube, salute. I'm here to talk about who had a better debut in 1994. Was it Nas, Illmatic, or was it Biggie Smalls, aka the notorious B.I.G., Ready to Die? We're going to find out. Alright, if you're new to my channel, please thumbs up the video, hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon to be notified when I upload new content and go live. Also, cast your vote for Kofi's Hip Hop Hall of Fame. The link is in the description. And check out new interviews from Illmatic, Kimbada, and Self-Titled. That's in the interview playlist. Alright, y'all. So let's start. We're going to go back and forth with these albums. So just to let you know where we at. So Nas, the album dropped April 1994. Yes, Nas, he made his debut on Main Source track live at the barbecue in 1991. And he released Halftime. In 1992, and that was produced by Large Professor. And that's actually how he got his deal with Columbia Records. And from there, he linked up with producers DJ Premier, Pete Rock, Q-Tip, LES to provide the classic production on that album. Yes. Biggie Smalls, aka the notorious B.I.G. This was his debut solo album. It was released September 13, 1994. The first release also for Bad Boy Records, produced by Sean Puffy Combs and other producers like Trap Masters, Poke, etc. You even have features with Method Man, Diddy, and Lil' Kim. And you also have producers Easy Mo B, Lord Finesse, DJ Premier, Darnell Scott, Chucky Thompson, Tublin Dice were some of the producers, just to let y'all know. And so at this time, two classic albums came out, and a lot of people didn't realize when Nas first dropped Illmatic, that first week, it only sold like 57 to 59,000 copies. The album was actually bootleg. That's why I didn't have a lot of success until he only had a great success in 1996 when he dropped It Was Written. Biggie Smalls, he made a huge impact because his single Juicy gave him that commercial push. It gave him that commercial push right there, so it took him to another level. So let's break these albums down, y'all. Nas, 10 tracks. Biggie Smalls, 17 tracks. You can say 19 tracks when the album was remastered, because there were songs like Who Shot You that came out later. They didn't put it out on the remastered version. Just Playing Dreams, when he dedicated a song having sex with all the women in the rap entertainment industry. But it's really 17 tracks. So let's take a trip down memory lane. We're going to start with Biggie Smalls. So the intro, Biggie being born into this world, but at the same time want to leave this world. So he's giving you his story of the American dream of a black person in the country, of trying to survive, trying to make money, but at the same time, you don't mind dying to get your money. So before 50 Cent said, get rich or die trying, Biggie Smalls already talking about and doing that shit. Nas, Illmatic, y'all. So at this time, coming in with the Genesis, you think of the Bible, the beginning. So he's telling, AZ, pass the drink around the Hennessy. Illmatic is about to begin. We're about to take it to another level. And so actually the Genesis was sampled by Charlie Ahern's classic Wild Style. So that's why you hear that little sample in the back. So we get into New York State of Mind. It's on and cracking. Nas, DJ Premier produced that track, and Nas delivers 4 to 5 minutes of lyrical drum kill. He's going in, going crazy. the things he's saying is like people are like, what the hell is he talking about? But you know it's like it's real lyrical shit. So you talking about, but just a nigga I walking with his finger on the trigger, making enough figures until my pockets get bigger. Nas is letting people know, like, you know, this is where I'm at. And I love the part where he said, I'll never sleep, because sleep is the cousin of death. He's already, you know, dropping, you know, lines that people sample. And people use a lot of Nas verses to sample on their tracks moving forward on Illmatic. Biggie. So we had The Warning, the story with him and Puffy going back and forth about somebody trying to come kill him. We have One More Chance. You know, the remix is actually a little better. So the remix is not on the album, but the One More Chance is just a woman saying, give me one more chance, and Biggie just like, nah, fuck that shit, whatever. Machine Gun Funk. Biggie just, you know, showing his wordplay, his lyricism. But Warning is, you know, it's a great back and forth, you know, conversation with him and Diddy talking about what's going on. Then you get into the what? Method Man. Method Man at that time, everybody know he was doing this thing with Wu-Tang. He didn't even drop his solo album yet. But at this time, he was hanging with Biggie, and Biggie was showing his versatility. It was like, damn, this fool Biggie doing like that. Going back to Nas. The World Is Yours, produced by Pete Rock. Paying homage to Scarface, talking about, I'm out for dead presidents to represent me. That means I need this money. I'm trying to get this money. You have Life's a Bitch featuring AZ. And at this time, Nas is just only 22 years old. Remember this, y'all. He's only 22. So he's talking about he switched his motto instead of saying, fuck the motto, that buck that I bought a bottle could have struck the lotto. So his mind is just saying, like, you know, how life is a bitch. That's why you got to take advantage of what you have right now. Halftime. I love that track right here. Like I said, that track was on the Zebra Head soundtrack. And Nas, like I said, he ripped it, man. Great bass line. Large Professor did his thing on that. So shout out to Large Professor. Go back to Biggie. Biggie, when you got songs like Everyday Struggle and Suicidal Thoughts, those songs right there resonate with a lot of people because they felt like, damn, Biggie's just really spitting, you know, real hardcore facts. He's talking about some real shit about people, what they going through of like trying to check out this world of, you don't mind going because the shit you go through, nobody's not going to understand. Nas, Memory Lane. Nas paints this picture for people that when you sit into a park and you can kind of reminisce what happens, you know, thinking about people using drugs, you know, criminal activity, so many things that's going on at that time. So an old soul telling you about their life. One Love, produced by Q-Tip. I love this song right there. This is actually Nas when he actually wrote Cormega. When Cormega was in jail, Cormega was actually the first member of the firm before he was replaced with Nature. So Nas is writing his friends that was incarcerated, but he was really writing Cormega too. A lot of people don't realize that at that time. One Time for Your Mind. I love this song. It got the West Coast attention. In some parts in the United States, of, you know, Nas letting people know, you know, I'm giving you something to put on your mind right now. Biggie, Me and My Bitch. You know, before Tupac, Me and My Girlfriend. For real, Biggie came out with the Me and My Bitch. He was talking about that shit. You know, for real. Unbelievable. And that was the B-side for Juicy right there. Respect, featuring Diana King. That song was cool right there. So Biggie was giving you a great glimpse of everything that was going on. The last two songs by Nas, like I said, you had Represent. Nas killed it right there. He just letting people know, I'm representing Queensbridge, and I'm here to take over. It Ain't Hard to Tell. I love this track right here. Actually, this track was actually called Nas Will Prevail. It was on his demo tape in 1991, which helped him get that deal at Columbia. And it has that Michael Jackson sample. You know, a lot of people don't realize that. That Michael Jackson sample. And Nas, man, I swear, like, he knew how to actually close the show. Especially when he said, hit the earth like a comet invasion. Nas is like Afrocentric Asian, half man, half amazing. When I first heard it, I was like, what the fuck? His vernacular, the flow, the rhythm, the way he delivered was straight poetic. It was just like, damn, he took this shit somewhere else. Like, I was just amazed, mesmerized with everything Nas did. We gotta pick an album, y'all. We gotta pick an album. So how do we pick? To me, I felt like Biggie Smalls had the commercial push with Bad Boy and having songs like One More Chance Remix, Juicy, Big Papa, allow him to get into the radio airwaves at that time. Nas earned 5 mics in the Source. He was the first artist to ever get 5 mics in the Source at that time. Nas didn't have songs to get him commercial appeal. Nas had those gutter street real hip hop songs because they was claiming him to be the next Rakim already. So with his wordplay, being a street poet, being a lyrical assassin, Nas already was taking the throne to saying, hey, I'm putting Queens back on the map. Because remember, KRS One destroyed Queens because when him and MC Search how they, battle, he put it down. Biggie Smalls, of course, he has songs that related to the streets, the drug dealing. He has songs for people that was real hip hop heads that listen to bars. So Biggie Smalls had a well balanced album. I will give him that. So it had songs for everybody, but I felt that Nas' album was straight for hip hop heads only. Look at the album covers. Nas came out with the Baby album cover before Biggie Smalls, hands down. So people even said, on Only Built for Cuban Links, when Ghostface said, I don't want nobody biting off motherfuckers, shark biters, they felt that Biggie Smalls bit off Nas shit. But at the same time, though, there only could be one king. I believe that Biggie not only became the king of Brooklyn, but he became the king of New York at that time. But I believe that Nas earned the right, and he earned the throne, the heir to the throne of taking the torch from Rakim, saying, I got it, and I'm going to take over now as far as claiming the hip-hop status. I don't think Nas was looking to be the king of New York, if people was considering to be the king of New York, but I believe at that time, Nas took over and said, I'm going to be what it's supposed to be to represent hip-hop and take it to another level. Ready to Die is a great album. I love that album, don't get me wrong. It's real deep, real dark. Nas, Illmatic, it's a blueprint for so many albums that actually paved the way moving forward. And we can go down the list. Now, albums that came after Illmatic. You have Only Built for Cuban Links. You have Mobb Deep. Their second album, The Infamous. You had albums that came out in 1997. Capone Noriega. I'm about to say Ntonni. Their first album that came out in 1997. So you have albums like that. You can have albums on the West Coast that people actually listen to Illmatic. Look at Kendrick Lamar, his second album, Good Kid, Mad City. People said, damn, that sounds so close. So a lot of albums that come out to be classics off their first album, they actually look at Nas as a Bible, as we relate to this album because what it's done for hip hop. I mean, you can never emulate Illmatic. I mean, it's gonna stand by itself. It's one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time. In the last 25 years of the 20th century, Biggie Smalls, I mean, that was his first album while he was alive, because his second album he passed away, but he did a great job with the album. But I don't feel that he had a better album overall than Illmatic. I feel like Illmatic from the beginning to the end was picture perfect. You didn't need no more tracks. It was actually everything you needed. I felt like Ready to Die was a good album. There's a couple of cuts that could have maybe went off the album, but that's me. But it still was a good album, and I think it was just real balanced for the women, the people that's in the clubs, the people that get on the radio that want them radio songs, the people that are in the streets. But I want to know from you, who do you think had a better album? Was it Nas, Illmatic, or was it Biggie Smalls, Ready to Die? You let me know. So tell me in the comment section, y'all. Until next time, everybody, I want to say thank you so much. And if you want to support my channel, I have Venmo, CashApp, PayPal, Streamlabs. Everything's in the description. You could become a Patreon member if you have any requests or anything you want to recommend for the channel. Become a Patreon member. Patreon.com/KofiUniverse. Until next time, salute.